Hello and welcome to Imperator 2.0, the Marius update. It's been a long time coming, and we have been very enthused about its arrival. I have been looking forward to this for a while, and now I get to share my exploits in it. We are going to be playing as the Antigonid Kingdom. We are led by one Antigonus, the first monophthalmous Antigonid, one of the generals of Alexander the Great, and, one of the big winners of the early part of the Diadochi Wars. We are sitting here, not called Phrygia, so that's another thing that we can be happy about, although that did change a few patches ago now. And we're gonna be seeing what we can do. The Antigonids did get a big update with the Heirs of Alexander DLC. They got a new mission tree that I personally found to be quite interesting, looking at it on the dev diaries. One of the more interesting ones, along with Thrace. Thrace looks interesting as well. But we're going to be playing as the Antigonid Kingdom, and you may ask, Lambert, why are you playing as one of the big countries of the world? You know, it's like the third, maybe biggest country in the world. Why are you playing as them? That's just basically cheating. You start as the big country, you keep winning, it's not fun. Well, that is not the case, because the Antigonids are in a very, very rough place. They start the game in between, or in the middle of a little bit of an issue, let's say. They are straddled on the south by Egypt. The Seleucids are on their eastern border. They've got Thrace and Macedon to their west. And all of them kinda don't like Antigonus. They all think he's a little bit of a dick. And it's very difficult for us to keep hold of what we've got, to the point where we won't. I'm just going to put it out there right now. We are not going to keep what we have. We are going to lose the vast majority of it. But that's fine. That is fine. We're going to get into this now. I don't know what we have. I do have a mod on. So actually, we probably don't need Iron Man mode. Just normal mode is fine. You know what? Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. So I want to say quickly, thank you very much for the Prime, Lost in the Cave, and Dandin. Thank you very much for the resub. Right, let's get into this. 18 years ago, the Argead king, Alexander III, died suddenly in Babylon at the age of 32. In the 5 years preceding his death, his continuing military successes had reshaped the world as known to the Greeks, his empire stretching uninterrupted from Egypt to the Indus. The suddenness of Alexander's early death and his lack of chosen successor sent shockwaves through the hierarchy of satraps and generals who attended him, splintering his empire into elements ruled by these potentates, styled as the Diadochi. For many years, they and their successors have been locked in a bitter struggle over the future of the empire, drawing all nations within their sphere of influence into the conflict. The wars of the Diadochi will surely continue. Perhaps it is up to the Antigonid Kingdom to decide how they will end. The die is indeed cast. Alia acta est. Although, obviously, the die is cast is a Roman thing, but doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The die is cast. It is cast. There we go. So, as the Antigonid Kingdom, what really is our starting situation? Like, we are incredibly huge. We have a population of 2,300, which I believe is like probably third or fourth place. We can check that now, actually. We're in third place. Egypt can get fucked. They're only, there's 600 pops behind us. So we're pretty strong. As for our army, we start with a legion. We are one of I think only 6 countries, I should say, in the world that start with a legion, the others being Egypt, the Seleucid Empire, Thrace, Macedon, and of course, Epirus, because Epirus got an army gifted to him by Ptolemy, because reasons. Anyway, we start with a legion here, being led by our son, Demetrius Poliorcetes, who is a pretty damn good general, all things considered. This legion, we can check out its stats right now. It's got a few heavy infantry, a few heavy cavalry, a couple of archers, a couple of light infantry, supply trains. It's got some war elephants, so it's got some good stuff in here. It has got some good stuff. It also has 2 Legion honors. We can have a look at these now. Primigenia, this means it is the first Legion of our nation. So it gets a nice bit of morale recovery. It gets a nice bit of loyalty gain chance reduction. Obviously, loyalty gain is not really something that you're going to be wanting all the time. We also have Legion Dedication. This is something that all Legions get. It's just something to give them a little bit of a boost early on to really make them punch above their weight when they're up against other armies, other levies. So they get a bit of morale, they get a bit more movement speed, they get a bit of discipline. What's quite lovely as well, I will say, is that, sure, we've just started the game on the 1st of October, 450 AVC, and yet the history of this army goes back all the way to 435. So this is the army that fought against Eumenes. This is the army that, you know, went to fight Eumenes again, and then again they fought Eumenes. This Eumenes is we should look into him at some point. But yes, we have all of this history for him. I wonder if the Siege of Rhodes, there it is. Demetrius led the Stratus of Syria in the failed Siege of Rhodes. That is the reason that Rhodes ends up building their Colossus, which is something that I hope they do, because it's a beautiful model. But that is the reason that that happens. And I just love that it's got the history here, and anything that we do with this Legion as well will be included in this history. I absolutely love that system. We can, of course, change the composition. This is not the composition that I really favor. There's too many different types of units here. I like it to be a bit more structured, a bit more organized, a bit more consolidated. Lots of heavy infantry, something I really quite like. Light infantry, something I kind of really don't much like. And it would be maybe an idea to get rid of the light infantry, as, you know, they're expensive. Like, legions, they're stronger than levies, but there's a price to pay for that, and that price is in money. This army costs us 4.3 ducats every single month, which is a lot. It is a significant amount of our treasury. But I will, of course, get rid of some light infantry just to lower the cost, because I don't really want to be paying for troops that I don't rate too highly. So the reason, the way that you do that, it's different to usual, because you'd think, you know, we build units here, right? You know, if we want to add heavy infantry, we'll just add some heavy infantry, but you can't take them away in this screen. So to get rid of some infantry from here, I'll just split them off into their own separate unit and then disband them, which is perfectly fine. We will, of course, also just replace those with a couple more heavy infantry. Maybe we'll go up to 10, because like I say, these guys they're ridiculously expensive, and we're not going to have a massive nation for much longer, so maybe just a few more will be nice. Alright, we also have some omens to take. I think as we know that we're about to be in a hefty amount of war, I'm going to go with Heracles, get that extra little smudge of discipline, might be nice. We can take some inventions as we start. At Tech 2 in each of our advances, we start with 8 innovations. These are also very new. Innovations are the new way of taking tech, so instead of, you know, getting 3 options every tech, we now have an expansive tech tree in every single advance path. And you can spend an awfully long time looking at these and seeing, oh, do I want to go down here, and I'll turn on planning mode. I really want to make sure that I get advanced roster design, because that's really cool. So I'll just highlight that with the planning mode, and then you know, reading every single one of them is something that you totally can do. It's not something I'm going to be doing on camera. It may be something that I do off screen, but to start with my 8 innovations, I've already decided I want military artisans, because that 1 free province investment seems kind of nice. So we'll take that one. Material science is also pretty tempting, so we could go down and get some discipline and stuff. Blacksmith's apprentices for the foundry building would be real tempting. That is real tempting. The foundry is a lovely building that I'll go over in just a moment. In civic advances, though, Colonnade can let us form some league cities, or we could go and get some more import value. In oratory, we could go census data for some more freemen, although knowing what happens to my nation in a little bit, getting some more Macedonian freemen in Antigonia might not be something I'm too interested in. And of course, there's some religious advances, make my ruler a bit more popular. Something to look into. Integrated happiness over here as well. There's a lot of happiness bonuses and such in the religious tree. I think I'm going to save my innovations until after the interesting things happen. Go for the one to sack the holy sites. Okay, so there's another thing about this invention system that is super interesting, and that is there are some certain inventions in these trees that completely change the way that you play the game. And to point out one in particular, militant Epicureanism. Instead of the normal way that religion works, where you have your omens and every so often you click an omen and you get a bonus, now, you don't get much omen power anymore, but what you do get is stability every time you sack a temple, which is insane. It's insane. That is a completely different way of playing the game. I can imagine that if you are a migratory horde, militant Epicureanism is gonna be so fun. So fun. It's something to look into. Well, I can't get it now anyway, or could I even? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could totally get it, but I'm not going to. Not yet. We're not going to take any more innovations just yet, because, like I said, our nation is going to go through some changes, and we need to prepare for those. Take some ideas. These, I don't believe, have changed at all since the game got them. I don't remember if they were in at release, but either way, they haven't changed since the last patch. With our oratory ideas, we're going to go with loyalty of generals, because there's something quite interesting with that one, which I'll go through in just a moment. And I'm also going to take some sanction privileges. So, this loyalty of generals thing, because of the changes that have come with legions and levies, and now every governor is technically a general, as they can all raise their own levies. Every governor now has plus 10 loyalty from military administration. That idea has just become an absolute must-take. 10 loyalty on every single governor and every single general is insane. It's so insane, and I love it, and it's fantastic. Right. We've got some other things to do. We have a navy. Let's merge it up together. We need a naval commander. We could go with you. I don't see a reason not to, so you're fine with that. We need an epistrategos. Don't remember what the epistrategos does. I think it might be mercenary cost. It would be nice if it actually told you what it does. We'll pop you in there. It is indeed mercenary maintenance. We've got some laws that we might look at, but not yet. There's a civil war that might happen. Well, that's awkward. Who is disloyal? 2 researchers. That's not too much of an issue. We'll just give them both free hands. There you go. So that's that sorted. We've got the Caphistoids, the Aleodids, and the Antigonids all scorned right now. That's probably not good. There's low food supply in Chalkis because our army is currently standing in it. Let's go and pick up the army, maybe move him somewhere else. We also have some other things to get doing. Too many relations. We've got some vassals, of course, Cappadocia, Boeotia, and Aetolia, along with a laundry list of tributaries and satrapies and client states, and just we've got a lot of subjects. We're also guaranteeing Boeotia and Aetolia. I could probably get rid of that, actually. But I think it might be time to unpause the game. Before I do that, though, I will say thank you very much to Jogalves for the Prime subscription, Kalianar for the Prime. Cianto for the gift subs, and James for the gift subs. Much appreciated, man. And Lost in the Cave for the Prime as well. Dandin for the resub as well. Thank you all so much. Your generosity is very much appreciated. Right, it's time to unpause. The Antigonids will probably be going to war very soon, and I'm scared. We've got some import requests. Right now, I think we're probably fine to just accept all trades. I don't think we need to really do much. Coronation of Antigonus. After Demetrius smashed the Egyptian fleet at Salamis, which is right here. This is Salamis Cyprius, and the naval battle was around here somewhere. He sent his most trusted officer, Aristodemos of Miletus, with news of our great victory. Aristodemos hailed Antigonus as Basilius before the assembled crowd, and the people rejoiced. A coronation swiftly followed, and Antigonus shall now be known as Basilius to all and sundry. News has reached the ears of Antigonus, however, that Demetrius, now crowned as co-king, has taken to mocking the other Diadochi and giving them derogatory titles. Seleucus, the commander of elephants. I'm not sure that's derogatory. I think, commander of elephants is... Well, I mean, we know the future, and he doesn't. And the elephant's maybe a little bit important. Anyway. Ptolemaeus the admiral, Lysimachus the treasure, and even Agathocles the governor of Sicily, though he is not one of us. When they hear of this, they will certainly not be pleased. I'm interested to know, did he have anything for Cassander? Did he maybe call him the murderer of babies? Something along those lines. So we can choose either that they will all bend the knee, we become the first Diadochi Basilius, giving us provincial loyalty and aggressive expansion impact. No one will like us, of course. We gain some popularity, and so does Demetrius. Or tell Demetrius to focus on his victories instead, and we get some morale of navies, some naval movement speed instead, and then, everyone likes us a bit more. Well, I don't care if they like me, and yeah, screw you guys. They will all bend the knee. Naturally. I'll just accept that for now, because I don't really need to worry about it right now. Cassander the traitor Alexander. Agreed. Cassander, bit of an asshole, really, if we can be totally honest about this. There are some other things that have been added to the game that we should probably just touch on. Of course, we've got the new UI, which does look just... It's so nice. It's so nice. I don't miss the circle images of what I'm told are, Greek gods, that I also had to click multiple times to find the right page that I wanted. Don't miss that at all. I'm very happy with having all of the buttons on the side now. Not unhappy with that at all. The outliner, of course, looks a lot thinner, a lot nicer, I think. And also, we also can see we've got a great wonder, the Acropolis of Pergamon. So that's kind of neat. Let's see what we have here. The Acropolis of Pergamon gives us oratory tech investment plus 25%. So if we go into our tech and we have a look at the oratory, the Acropolis of Pergamon there, plus 25%. Kind of nice, kind of cool, kind of neat. I like it. There are other quite lovely wonders around the world that we might be able to look at as well. Just before we get started, there's a couple of wonders I want to see. So we've got the Palace of the Argeas giving us some subject opinion, loyalty to subject states, tributary income. It's okay. It's relatively similar to the Pyramids of Giza. And by similar, I mean it's kind of identical. I wish that wasn't the case, but it's whatever. One of the best wonders in the world. It's not really a wonder, but whatever. We've got the Acropolis of Rhodes, giving navy attrition negative 20%, blockade efficiency plus 20%, and monthly ship repair at sea plus 0.2. That's kind of nice. Not gonna lie, Acropolis of Rhodes, kind of neat. Other world wonders that we have here, of course, in Ephesus, we have the Temple of Artemis, giving a religious tech investment and monthly stability change. Really nice wonder to have. We should see, where's the other one here? The Mausoleum of Halicarnassus gives unintegrated culture happiness bonus. Very nice as well. I'll be wanting to own that at some point in the not too distant, because that's kind of cool. And then we've got the Statue of Zeus in Olympia. Integration speed and improve opinion maximum. Lovely stuff. We'll be wanting those for sure. So, with that said, with that out of the way, of course we could go and have a look at all the other wonders. We've got Babylon Hanging Gardens, we've got the Temple of Taxila, which is around there. No? It's around here somewhere. There it is. Temple of Taxila, which is kind of nice as well. They've got this one here that I forgot the name of. Sigiri. What? This one. It's nice. S1 as well. I pronounced that perfectly, by the way. I'm pretty good at that. Eventually, we'll have the Pharaoh's Lighthouse, which I believe is why the Tomb of Alexander does not count as a wonder. I believe that's why. It's kind of sad. I believe there's also Petra is here. It does not have a wonder. Was the thing of Petra that maybe was built later on? Rome has the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. Stonehenge also counts as one. I know I said I wasn't going to go through them all, but like I guess I am now. We've also got, I guess we should go to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon now that we're looking at them all. Statesmanship and civic tech investment is pretty decent. Does the Colossus of Rhodes count as a wonder? Yes, it does, though it hasn't actually been constructed yet. Which I also believe is why Rhodes has been split up into 3 territories. Because, well, technically the Colossus should totally be like here. We've also got the Acropolis of Rhodes here. So I'm thinking that perhaps when Rhodes builds it, it's probably going to be in Lindus or Sporades, which is a shame. It's in the wrong place, but I feel like that's why Rhodes has been split up. I don't think there's any more that I can think of off the top of my head. There's probably more. I vaguely remember there being something in Germania, but I'd have to really go digging for it. I can't remember. So we're not going to. We're just gonna get going. It would be nice if there was a map mode for it. Maybe something to do with. I suppose it could be in the Atlas mode, which is beautiful and new. But if it would like highlight world wonders, no matter whose nation they're in, that would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know another way to find them. But anyway, let us get going. I said that a few times now, but we'll go. The place that Charlemagne burned. I don't know. Just build your own wonders. Yeah, you can do that as well. I guess I can quickly point at how one does that. If you want to build a great wonder, choose a place. You choose a great wonder, and then you can design them however you want. Say you want a marble conical roof on top of a step tower made of ebony, and then you know the outsidey bit can be some polygonal base made of gold. Well, you can do that. The better materials you have here, the more prestige you start with, and each tier of prestige gets you different bonuses that you can choose yourself. So if I wanted, say, a bunch of bonuses, you can totally have a bunch of bonuses. This is kind of the part that I'm not too terribly happy with, because I don't think that something I build that looks kind of like this should have bonuses. That's a lot of bonuses to get, especially when you look at, the pyramids of Giza don't have bonuses that are nearly as strong as these, and it just doesn't feel right. You can also name it if you want, the Beacon of Coricassian. We've got buildings, we've got pyramids, and some templates as well if you wanna just go through the templates. I'm not massively a fan of the bonuses. I think they are very imbalanced. But I do like the idea that you can build something. How much is a full gold wonder? Well, the most expensive thing you can buy is a full gold pyramid, which will cost you a nice, tidy sum of 11,500 gold. I think it is maybe more expensive if you build it in mountains, perhaps? Pyramid made of solid gold. No, it isn't. I do remember the first time I opened this up and I tried to build a solid gold pyramid, it was over 13,000. I don't know what has changed, if I'm being honest. Maybe there was... the nation that I picked was some tribe with a negative building cost modifier. That might have been it. Are you using a mod, as I can't find the move pop option or the buildings in a city? Move pop option is in here. I'm not using any mods right now, other than one specific one, which I can show off if I can find somebody that has some mercenaries. There. The only mod I've got on right now is one from Agamade, which is making mercenaries have a grey background to their colour, rather than the very reddish brown one that they currently do. That's just so that they don't look like enemies. But I don't have any mods that will change the UI. Not yet. Was that 60,000 days to complete a building? It was, however, that is because... Hang on, let me just go back into it again. That's because I didn't appoint a construction leader. So let's go the Pyramid of the Solid Gold, 60,000 days. But if I put a level 7 Finesse Menedemos Eretrid, it goes down to 33,000 days, which is nice. It also changes based on the amount of people in the province, I believe. Yeah, there we go. The workforce available in the province of Cilicia Trachea. So you really want to build it in your, high pop areas. For example, if I wanted to build it in Antigonia, your solid gold pyramid with him, it's only 19,500 days. Just still very long time. However, it's still a long, yes, it's just a long time. It's just a long time. Right. With all that said, all that out of the way, we're 26 minutes in, we've gone less than a couple of months. Let's unpause again. Yay. The guy is great, he halved the work time. Well, I mean, you gotta think, he's lowering the work... The difference between having a foreman and having no one is kind of important, right? Because, where people don't know where to build the thing. So it does take a long time. It takes longer to build a wonder than it takes to build a Dyson sphere in Stellaris. You're not wrong. You really aren't. Right, the wars of the Diadochi. Having built the largest empire the world has ever seen, Alexander the Great died suddenly 18 years ago. With no clear successor to the empire, his generals have since fought over the spoils, coming to be known as the Diadochi, or successors. As the satrap of Phrygia, our ruler Antigonus was not part of most of the great campaigns of Alexander, but in the conflicts of the last decade, he has risen to be the most powerful of the successors. Elsewhere, Seleucus has succeeded in reclaiming Babylon and united the Eastern Empire, and the struggle for Greece continues against Cassandras in Macedon. Our reputation as a protector of the free Greek cities has earned us many friends among the smaller Greek states, but otherwise, we now stand alone. So, the empire belongs to the strongest, the final words of Alexander the Great, or Antigonus will outlast all, whatever the cost. So, empire belongs to the strongest means that if I fail to conquer Corinthus, or I lose Ascalon, Antigonea, Chalkis, Salamis Cyprius, or Kellenai, my empire will splinter when I die. So, that's why it's going to be very, very rare for you to see a successful Antigonid Kingdom. Because those requirements are insane. Let's just point out, right, where those provinces are, right? Corinthus is right here. We need to conquer this one. It's got a fort. We need to go and siege it, conquer it. Where do you think Ascalon is? If we've got our army over here fighting for Corinthos in Greece, probably not going to have our army down here defending Ascalon, the border with Egypt. We've also got Antigonea, which, relatively defensible. It's on a hill. It's our capital. It's got a fort. We're going to be pretty happy to try and keep this. Chalkis is right here. We're stood at it right now. We've also got Salamis Cyprius, which we talked about previously. That's right here in Cyprus. Pretty easy to keep this one, if I'm being honest, with it being on an island. And then finally, Kelini, which I forget where it is, but we can find it. Kelini is right here. So, we need to defend from Egypt. We need to defend from Egypt getting even a single siege completed. We need to defend from the Seleucids getting all the way to Antigonia. We need to defend from the Thracians crossing the Bosporus and sieging Kelini. And we need to defend Chalkis while at the same time sieging Corinthos. It is a task. Please pronounce CH as K. Which one was that? Chalkis. I'll try. Pretty sure Lambert is not native Greek. Well, no, I'm not. Thank you, Mudgy Fudgy, for the Prime. So yeah, you're not gonna really be seeing a successful Antigonid Kingdom. I think the biggest pain, the biggest challenge will be to hold Ascalon. If the full force of Egypt is trying to pass up here, holding this it's going to be so difficult. You can do it, but if you're doing it, you're probably not fighting Macedon. Or if you're fighting Macedon, you're not fighting here. You've got so many different places to defend all at the same time. It is a challenge. It is a big, big challenge. So, what's this other one though? What is Antigonus will outlast all, whatever the cost? Well, we'll see. Also, we also get the ability to use the Legacy of Alexander war goal, and we get claims on all of the rest of the Empire, which is kind of cool. The claims on the war goal, we lose them on the death of Demetrius. So, the other option, Antigonus will outlast all, whatever the cost. Well, we get the Piasmatikos nickname. We get Piasmatikos, which is, 0.5 extra health. All my skills will be reduced to 7. I lose political influence and money. And I still have the very same problem with needing to conquer Corinthos and, losing the rest of it. So basically, the option is, do I want the health but lose all my stats? Or do I not? Honestly, the Empire belongs to the strongest just seems like the way to go. This just means that I can fight for longer before I die, because we start at 78 years old. We're pretty old. We're probably going to die pretty quickly, although I will say it would be nice if I didn't know the health of Antigonus. I'm not a big fan of knowing the health. It's something that I have complained about quite frequently, is the overabundance of information in Imperator. And while we do still see the breakdown of decimal points on the health, other things like how many troops do the Seleucids have? I don't know. We can see how many ships they have, but we don't know how many troops they have. There's a lot of things about their nation that we used to know, though we don't anymore. How much money do they have? I don't know. What's their income? I don't know. How much manpower do they have? I don't know. We used to know all the information, and now we don't, which I love. It's fantastic. Alright, so the Empire belongs to the strongest, naturally. Alright. So the boats have almost reached Chalkis. Chalkis is... It's not run out of food yet, so that's fine. We'll leave it as it is. We've got one disloyal character, or an almost disloyal character, but you're a researcher. Researchers can get free hands, I'm not worried about those. That's not an issue at all. Where is the bloody navy? It's right here. Okay. It's almost arrived. I need spies. True, I do need spies. That is another thing that we can eventually start doing. I believe it might be an invention that we need to do first. Because I know there is a way to spy on your enemies, spy on neighbors. It's just not something I know how to do yet. It's not something I've seen. I believe it is a character interaction. Attempt espionage. There we go. We need to have the invention espionage. So, espionage. We can search for it. And it's not in religious. There it is. We need this one. So if we take this, we can then use espionage character interaction. The espionage character interaction allows me to go and do some espionage on my enemies. It would be nice if I could hover over this one. There is tooltips within tooltips, which is kind of cool, but there's not everything is tooltipped, like espionage character interaction. I don't know what this does exactly. It's something we need to look into. I might actually go straight for it. I think we can probably go straight for it. Let's do it. I want to try espionage. Get some shady connections, which seems like a bit of a waste of a thing. But there we go. We can now do espionage. And we will grab a character. Grab a character, any character. That probably should be good at maybe charisma. And shit at everything else. You. Attempt some espionage upon my good friend. So by number of pops be easier. The Seleucid Empire. Oh wow, it also costs quite a lot of money. She will be sent on an espionage mission to a country of our choice. It will take time to gather intel, and it will depend on her charisma. There we go, perfect. She gains sneaky deeds, giving her corruption and health penalties. Whether that was worth the 100 ducats, I don't know. But we'll find out. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Being able to know more about them is probably going to be useful. Alright, unpause again. The war in Greece. After the Heraclean effort that characterized the siege of Rhodes, the Antigonids turned their eyes west. The free cities of Greece were marshaled into a disciplined league with the sole aim to pen in the ruthless Cassandrus and the remnants of his forces still present in Macedon. After a brief lull in the fighting, the Antigonid generals led by Demetrius now insist that the time is right to provoke an offensive from the Macedonian menace, irrespective of the brewing threat from Alexander's successors elsewhere. So, this may result in war if we say that Cassandrus will rue the day, which he definitely will rue the day. There is 100% ruing going on here. Or we can say we can focus elsewhere. So, we would lose Salamis. It would be owned by Athens. Salamis being this island here. Aegina becomes an independent country. Chalkis is an independent country. We'll have a truce with Macedon. Macedon will have a truce with us. And abandoning the free Greeks, we face unrest and home in the future. Also, if we lose this and this, I don't mind losing this, but if we lose Chalkis, then we die. Then the empire explodes. So clearly we must say that Cassandrus, I'm sorry, my dude, but you will rue the day. You will rue the day. For sure. In a feat of daring bravado, Boa has infiltrated the court of the Seleucid Empire. For as long as she remains there, we will have access to the economic and military records of the Seleucid bureaucracy. We should take care, however, the longer our spy remains in place, the greater the risk to their well-being. Well, I don't really care for her well-being, if I'm being perfectly honest. So in the diplomacy window for the Seleucid Empire, we can now see some more information. We can see their treasury. We can see how much manpower they have. That's really cool. That's so cool. I am so down with that. Their stability as well. Actually having a character interaction to learn more information about another country? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I asked for. I love it. I love it. That is amazing. We don't need this ledger. This ledger can fuck off. This ledger is irrelevant. Now we can just spy on our enemies. That's awesome. Oh, you can always see stability? Oh yeah, so you can. Well, either way, being able to see the treasury and manpower is something that we were able to see as default in 1.5 and before, which was really shit. It was terrible. Being able to see how much, you know, money and manpower Cornavia had. I don't even know if they existed last patch. Being able to see that when I was playing as, you know, Pandia was stupid. Absolutely stupid. But now, that's no longer the case. I love this. This system is beautiful. You know who's not beautiful? Cassander. So we're at war with him. That's why, because he's not beautiful.